Nobody expected the greatest basketball player of all time to destroy the modern era's king in a boardroom battle that had nothing to do with basketball. Michael Jordan leaned back in his executive chair, a cold smile spreading across his legendary face, as he prepared to demolish LeBron James in front of sports industry titans. LeBron, you're great at basketball, but business is a different game where championships don't matter. Results do, he declared with the same killer instinct that won 6 NBA titles. But what the Lakers star revealed next would leave Jordan speechless and revolutionize athlete entrepreneurship forever. That if you want to see how the modern NBA's king exposed basketball's greatest legend using business strategies that will change sports forever, watch this entire story and don't forget to subscribe for more shocking confrontations that the sports establishment tried to cover up. The Jordan Brand headquarters in Portland, Oregon hummed with tension that Friday afternoon in December 2025. The conference room on the 35th floor overlooked the city where Nike had built its empire. But today's meeting would determine whether that empire would face its greatest competitive threat from an unexpected source. One of basketball's current superstars challenging the business model that had made Michael Jordan a billionaire. Michael Jordan, at 62, had spent the 2 decades since his retirement building the most successful athlete business empire in history. Jordan Brand generated over $5 billion in annual revenue for Nike, making it larger than most standalone corporations and establishing Jordan as the template for athlete entrepreneurship that every subsequent sports star attempted to emulate. The Jordan Brand phenomenon had transcended basketball to become a cultural institution that influenced fashion, marketing, and business strategy across multiple industries. Jordan's ability to maintain relevance and commercial success 20 years after his playing career ended had made him the undisputed king of sports business, with other athletes constantly measured against his extraordinary post-career achievements. Jordan's approach to business reflected the same competitive obsession and perfectionist mentality that had made him basketball's greatest player. He demanded complete control over his brand, insisted on premium pricing strategies, and refused to dilute his image through partnerships or collaborations that didn't meet his exacting standards. This approach had generated unprecedented wealth while maintaining the exclusivity that kept Jordan Brand products in constant demand. But Jordan's business philosophy was rooted in the marketing and media landscape of the 1980s and 1990s, when athlete endorsements were simpler, social media didn't exist, and fans had fewer entertainment options competing for their attention. His success had been built on scarcity, exclusivity, and a mystique that came from limited public access and carefully controlled media appearances. LeBron James, at 40, represented a fundamentally different approach to athlete entrepreneurship that reflected the realities of modern media, global markets, and changing consumer behavior. While Jordan had built his empire through traditional endorsement deals and licensing agreements, LeBron had focused on equity ownership, media production, and direct consumer engagement through digital platforms. The meeting had been arranged to discuss a potential collaboration between Jordan Brand and LeBron's various business ventures. But industry insiders suspected that Jordan had requested the meeting to assert his dominance over what he viewed as a younger generation's inferior approach to business development. What Jordan didn't realize was that LeBron had spent months preparing for this confrontation, assembling comprehensive analysis of changing market conditions, generational consumer preferences, and business opportunities that traditional athlete endorsement models were failing to capture. The conference room was packed with Nike executives, sports business analysts, and representatives from both men's business teams, all recognizing that this meeting could reshape the relationship between athlete endorsements and independent business development in ways that would affect every current and future sports star. As LeBron James entered the conference room that afternoon, he carried himself with the confidence of someone who had consistently exceeded expectations throughout his career, both on the basketball court and in business ventures that had already generated hundreds of millions in value. Jordan's opening was calculated to establish his superiority through the intimidation tactics that had proven effective against countless business rivals and younger athletes seeking his approval or partnership. LeBron, I want to be direct with you, Jordan began, his voice carrying the authority that had made him the most feared competitor in basketball history. You're great at basketball, one of the best to ever play the game. But business is a different arena where championships don't matter. Endorsement deals don't guarantee success, and results are the only thing that counts. The statement was designed to acknowledge LeBron's basketball greatness while establishing Jordan's superiority in the business realm, positioning the meeting as an opportunity for the older legend to educate the younger star about real entrepreneurship. I've been watching your various business ventures, and while I respect the effort, I think you're making some fundamental mistakes about how athlete businesses actually work, Jordan continued, his tone carrying the same competitive edge that had intimidated opponents for decades. LeBron remained composed, though observers noted his increased focus as he recognized that Jordan was launching a direct challenge to his business competence rather than proposing genuine collaboration. Michael, I appreciate your perspective and obviously respect everything you've accomplished, LeBron replied carefully. But I think the business landscape has changed significantly since you built Jordan Brand, and different approaches might be needed for different eras. Jordan's laugh was sharp and dismissive, revealing his confidence that LeBron's response proved his point about the younger generation's misunderstanding of business fundamentals. LeBron, business fundamentals don't change with eras. Profit margins, market share, revenue growth, brand value. These metrics have been the same for decades, Jordan responded. The problem with your generation is that you confuse social media followers with actual customers and think that being involved in every trendy cause makes you a serious businessman. The attack was more personal than LeBron had expected, suggesting that Jordan viewed modern athlete activism and social media engagement as weaknesses rather than strengths in business development. My Jordan Brand generates more revenue than most Fortune 500 companies, Jordan continued, and it does so by focusing on product excellence, brand exclusivity, and premium pricing rather than chasing every new technology trend or social media platform. LeBron recognized that Jordan was challenging not just his business methods, but his entire approach to public engagement and social responsibility, forcing him to defend his comprehensive strategy rather than just his financial results. Michael, I understand that Jordan Brand has been incredibly successful using traditional models, LeBron replied, but I think you might be underestimating how much consumer behavior and market dynamics have changed, particularly among younger demographics that will drive future growth. Jordan's response revealed his conviction that success formulas shouldn't change, and that newer approaches represented risky deviation from proven strategies. LeBron, every generation thinks they've discovered something new, but successful business models work because they're based on human psychology and economic principles that don't change, Jordan said. Premium brands stay premium by maintaining exclusivity and scarcity, not by trying to be everything to everyone. What happened next would begin LeBron's systematic demonstration that Jordan's business philosophy, while historically successful, was increasingly disconnected from modern market realities and future growth opportunities. Michael, let me show you some data that I think might change your perspective on how business models need to evolve, LeBron said, connecting his tablet to the conference room's display system. The screen showed comprehensive market research and consumer analysis that LeBron had clearly prepared extensively, with professional quality presentations that immediately captured the attention of everyone in the room. This is analysis of consumer purchasing behavior across different age groups for athletic products, entertainment content, and lifestyle brands over the past 5 years, LeBron explained, displaying charts that showed dramatic shifts in how different generations made purchasing decisions. The data revealed that traditional advertising and celebrity endorsements were losing effectiveness among younger consumers who prioritized authenticity, social impact, and direct engagement over exclusivity and premium pricing. Generation Z and younger millennials, who represent the fastest-growing consumer segment, make purchasing decisions based on brand values, social responsibility, and personal connection rather than just product quality or celebrity association, LeBron continued. Jordan attempted to dismiss the demographic analysis through his typical confidence in established business wisdom. LeBron, every generation claims they're different, but when they have money to spend, they want the same things: quality, status, and exclusivity. That's why Jordan Brand keeps growing despite all these supposed changes in consumer behavior. LeBron's response would reveal comprehensive research that challenged Jordan's assumptions about market trends and consumer preferences. Michael, Jordan Brand's growth has actually been slowing among consumers under 25, while brands that emphasize social impact and authentic engagement are capturing increasing market share in that demographic, LeBron replied, showing specific data about Jordan Brands. Performance among different age groups. The analysis was detailed and showed that while Jordan Brand remained dominant among older consumers who had grown up during Jordan's playing career, its appeal was declining among younger demographics who had different values and purchasing priorities. Furthermore, LeBron continued, the global market for athletic products is increasingly driven by international consumers who don't have the same emotional connection to 1990s NBA history, but do respond to contemporary social issues and global perspectives. He clicked to international market analysis that showed how global consumers, particularly in Asia and Africa, were more influenced by current athlete activism and social engagement than by historical basketball achievements. Jordan was beginning to realize that LeBron had prepared more comprehensive market research than he had expected, but he attempted to maintain his position through criticism of modern business approaches. LeBron, you're confusing temporary trends with fundamental business principles, Jordan said. Social media influence doesn't translate to long-term brand value, and political activism alienates as many customers as it attracts. LeBron's response would deliver the most devastating challenge to Jordan's business philosophy, while demonstrating the financial success of modern athlete entrepreneurship approaches. Michael, let me show you the actual financial results of different business strategies, LeBron said, clicking to comprehensive financial analysis that would shock everyone in the room. Spring Hill Entertainment, my media production company, has generated over $725 million in content value over the past 3 years, with projects reaching global audiences that traditional athlete endorsements could never access, LeBron explained, showing revenue figures and audience metrics. The media business success was substantial and demonstrated that LeBron had built profitable enterprises beyond traditional athletic endorsements, challenging Jordan's assumption that athlete businesses should focus primarily on product endorsements. Uninterrupted, my athlete media platform has created direct revenue streams for over 200 professional athletes while building audience engagement that traditional sports media can't match, LeBron continued, displaying user engagement and revenue data. The platform's success revealed that LeBron had created business models that empowered other athletes while generating profits, contrasting with Jordan's more exclusive approach to business development. But here's what really challenges traditional thinking about athlete businesses, LeBron said, clicking to his most impressive financial presentation. My equity investments in technology companies, real estate developments, and startup businesses have generated returns that exceed what any endorsement deal could provide. The investment portfolio was extensive and showed that LeBron had used his platform and capital to build wealth through ownership rather than just licensing his name and image to other companies. Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool Football Club, has tripled in value since I became a partner, LeBron explained. Blaze Pizza, where I was an early investor and spokesperson, sold for $200 million, more than my initial investment. The equity investment returns were impressive and demonstrated that LeBron had built wealth through business ownership rather than just endorsement income, representing a fundamentally different approach to athlete entrepreneurship. Jordan was now fully focused on the financial analysis, recognizing that LeBron had achieved business success through methods that Jordan had never pursued comprehensively. These numbers are impressive, LeBron, Jordan admitted, but equity investments are riskier than established endorsement deals. For every successful investment, there are dozens of failures that athletes don't publicize. LeBron's response would demonstrate both his understanding of investment risk and his strategic approach to building diversified business portfolios. You're absolutely right about investment risk, Michael, LeBron acknowledged. That's why I work with financial advisors who specialize in athlete business development and why I focus on industries where I can add value beyond just capital investment. He clicked to analysis of his investment strategy and success rates. My investment success rate is actually higher than typical venture capital firms because I focus on businesses where my platform, network, and expertise can contribute to growth rather than just providing capital. The strategic approach was sophisticated and showed that LeBron had developed systematic methods for evaluating and supporting business investments rather than making random celebrity endorsement deals. Furthermore, LeBron continued, ownership equity provides long-term wealth building that endorsement deals can't match. Jordan Brand generates billions for Nike, but you receive royalty percentages rather than full ownership value. The comparison was pointed and suggested that even Jordan's most successful business relationship was structured to benefit the corporate partner more than the athlete. Despite Jordan's enormous financial success, Jordan was beginning to understand that LeBron had identified fundamental limitations in traditional athlete business models while developing alternative approaches that could generate superior long-term wealth. LeBron, your analysis is more sophisticated than I expected, Jordan said, his competitive respect beginning to replace his initial dismissiveness. But there's still the question of legacy and brand longevity. Jordan Brand has maintained relevance for decades. Will your various businesses have the same staying power? LeBron's final response would demonstrate his understanding of legacy building and brand development that transcended individual business ventures. Michael, I think that's exactly the right question, but I'd suggest that legacy building has evolved beyond single brand development, LeBron replied. Instead of building one dominant brand, I'm creating an ecosystem of businesses, investments, and social impact initiatives that can adapt to changing markets while maintaining core values. He clicked to a presentation showing his comprehensive business philosophy and long-term strategy. Sprinkle Entertainment can produce content for decades regardless of changes in entertainment technology. My investment portfolio diversifies across multiple industries and growth sectors. The LeBron James Family Foundation creates social impact that extends beyond any single business venture. The comprehensive approach was strategic and demonstrated that LeBron had thought systematically about building lasting influence through multiple channels rather than depending on a single business relationship. Most importantly, LeBron concluded, this approach allows me to adapt to future changes in technology, consumer behavior, and global markets rather than depending on maintaining relevance for products and brands developed in previous eras. The implicit criticism of Jordan's dependence on nostalgia and historical brand value was respectful but clear, suggesting that LeBron's approach was better positioned for future market conditions. Jordan sat back in his chair, processing the comprehensive business analysis and strategic thinking that LeBron had presented. For the first time in the meeting, he appeared genuinely impressed, rather than competitively dismissive. LeBron, I have to admit that your approach is more thoughtful and comprehensive than I initially understood, Jordan said. You've built business success through methods that I never fully explored, and your analysis of changing market conditions is compelling. The admission represented a significant shift from Jordan's initial confidence in his business superiority, acknowledging that LeBron had achieved legitimate success through innovative approaches rather than just benefiting from modern market conditions. The meeting concluded with Jordan expressing genuine interest in learning more about LeBron's investment strategies and business development methods, while LeBron offered to share resources and collaborate on ventures that could benefit from both men's expertise and networks. Within weeks, news of their collaboration spread through sports business circles, with both men announcing joint investments in technology companies and media ventures that combined Jordan's brand legacy with LeBron's modern business strategies. The confrontation became a case study in how different generations of athletes could learn from each other's approaches to business development, with both men ultimately strengthening their positions through mutual respect and strategic collaboration. LeBron James had not only defended his business methods against the greatest athlete entrepreneur in history, but had demonstrated that modern approaches to wealth building could complement rather than replace traditional business models when applied thoughtfully and strategically. Michael Jordan had discovered that his competitive instincts and business acumen could be enhanced rather than threatened by learning from younger athletes who had developed new methods for building wealth and influence in rapidly changing markets. The confrontation proved that true business success comes not from defending established methods against innovation, but from combining proven principles with adaptive strategies that can respond to evolving opportunities and challenges.